Good evening, viewers, and welcome to The Price of Fame. My name is Lunga Tshuka, and I'll be your host. So, The Price of Fame is a podcast that focuses on the real stories about the journey to success, from the moment or realization of one's purpose or gift. And in these conversations, we aim to shed the light on the hardships, the sacrifices, and the mindsets our guests have to overcome to achieve their current position in their career. These are their stories. Gung, gung. So tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, has over 21 years of experience in the film and TV industry. He's a multiple nominated and award-winning actor, and you probably recognize him for his early work in Backstage, Generation, Scandal, Bunnalanders, not just one Bunnalanders, the Ellen Paki story, as well as Dollars and White Pipes, and much, much more. What wait? There is more. He's not only known as a very talented actor, he's also known as a singer-songwriter and has shared the stage with some of the elite artists in the music industry. Also respected as a Muay Thai instructor and an amateur bodybuilder. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the screen, Clint Brink. Yeah. Blah, blah. Come on, welcome, man.
What's up, bro?
Now, when you did that, you must want to put me into Jamaica. I was like, yo, man, welcome, welcome. I just want to say greetings to the show, man. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing, man?
Right now, me good boy, me good boy. You know, no rude things are going over here, boy. You know, we good boy.
Yeah, blessed. No bumper clot here, yeah. No bumper clot, keeping it straight, yeah. Got no time for no batty boys, yeah.
We got no time, brother.
No
How you
time.
doing? Are you good?
I am so well, bro. Thank you for going with it, my man. How are you doing?
Brother, I can't complain, man. It's a interesting journey the last couple of years, but good. Blessed.
Yes.
Yeah. I know everyone says that hashtag blessed, but for real, blessed.
Yeah, we mean it. Oh, there we go. All right, so that's so interesting because we're gonna get into all of that with us with the Price of Fame. And welcome to the Price of Fame, and thank you for being a guest on the Price of Fame. It's a huge honor. I know my fans are super excited to see you tonight and just to hear like more about you, find out who you truly are, and just add more value to who you are, like the person that we already appreciate and love. So yeah, let's get into it, like my man. So you've inspired us on the screen and also off screen. And I know you've done a lot of things that people don't know about. So please tell us how has been 2021 been treating you so far?
Yeah, so 2021 started off with, I think everyone had their own questions like, what's this year going to turn out like? 2020 was pretty rough. No one could really prepare for it. And, kind of like being optimistic, but also, I think, fearful of what the future may hold. But 2021 for me has turned out to be something really special, man. I'm a guy that does my best to just keep my eyes open. So when the signs are saying that the focus is no longer external and you need to like make sure that the focus is all internal, I go with it and I go with the process. So yeah, on the health side, I can't complain. I'm healthy. My family is good. My wife's good. Work is great. Yeah, man, that's why I'm saying I'm blessed. There's a lot of people that can't necessarily say the same thing, The last 2 years have been really rough on the country, the globe actually. And especially in the entertainment industry, we know that a lot of people suffered heavily. Yeah. So 2021 has been so far, it's showing some insights, brother.
Yeah. And it's very interesting that you mentioned looking within, because I feel like 2020 definitely gave everyone the time to just, because like it stopped you from working, it stopped you from doing your hustle and bustle, and all you could do is be with your family or be with yourself, and it really I gave you that time to like really just reassess everything, what's so important in your life, what, your priorities, and also what you need to throw away, that like the 2020, I think it cleared out so much, in the last year. And you also as energetically also cleared out so much, and we're seeing new versions of people. I mean, I had a bless you and I also might have dreads, because I cleared out my best.
That's not gonna happen on my side, but I'm optimistic, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
got the accent.
I do feel though like 2020 stripped away what we were, and it was calling forward who we are instead, you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, your humanity, your level of humanity, your level of compassion, you know, and also like being confronted with your own questions of, what is my experience of life right now? What's
Yeah.
important? What do I value most? And then reprioritize and restructure and reapply. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of us took a knock in the industry, you know, but I know some people in the entertainment industry were still lucky to like get a do still what they were doing. Like, for example, some DJs got to do some platforms, some online DJing platforms, you know, where they were still getting hired, but it's not exactly the same as the club or whatever. And I think some actors still continue to do their thing, but obviously under strict rules, you know. Were you one of those fortunate actors who had opportunity to still work during the lockdown?
Yeah, most definitely. I had the first 5 weeks, hard lockdown. We were
Yeah.
obviously not working. But then from the 1st of May, I think it was the 1st of May, March, April. Was it March? I don't know, it was the 1st of something, starting with an M. So it can either
Somewhere
be
around.
March or May. Yeah. But for the 1st of May, we started, I was back at work. And, you know, I also suffered. I had COVID last year as well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, my recovery wasn't as difficult. I had about 3 or 4 days where it was a bit tough for me. I would say maybe like 2 months after that, it took me just to get strong again. Um,
Yes.
but other than that, yeah, man, I was working one way all the way through. So I'm
Yeah.
really fortunate. I'm really, really fortunate.
Hashtag blessed again. Put it there.
You know
Hashtag
what I'm
blessed.
saying? Braik, see, brazo.
Yeah. And do you think that maybe your Muay Thai training, you know, it keeps your body always like in a very strong state, you know, mentally, physically, and also spiritually? Do you think that maybe played a role in your in your recovery, or just like your mindset going through facing COVID?
Well, I think anything that enhances your mindset, you know, anything that enhances your mindset is an additive, and it's um, really a bonus. You know what I'm saying? So, with a combat sport, you have to put up with a lot. You know, either have a
Yes.
smashed nose, or you know, have a fractured rib or ankle or something that's not nice. And you know, you find a way to really just dig deep and stay optimistic and stay positive and don't panic under pressure.
Yes.
So yeah, I
Yes.
think definitely those things have contributed to me
Mm.
just persevering and staying positive and optimistic through everything.
I guess like some of the principles you could apply it in that state, you know, like for example, in times of panic when you're fighting, you know how to now in other situations of panic, how to calm the mind and how to reassess, you know,
Yeah,
and everything like. And
yeah.
yeah, I think those skills really come in handy. Do you have, tell us about your injuries, you know, like, because I do Kyokushin karate, you know, and usually when I used to go to the tournament, the only injuries I would come home with maybe I'm limping because of, you know, bruised leg, or
Yeah.
sometimes they punch you and all over the body.
Yes.
And but my biggest injury I've ever had was a broken jaw. And that because they got me nice, you know, the head kick. So they
Yes.
got me
Yes. Yes.
nice. Tell me, have you had any serious injuries from Muay Thai?
From Muay Thai, I would say the my worst injury that I had was before my first fight. We went and we sparred really hard, myself and my coach, and then a couple of other guys, you know, prepping for the fight. And then, you know, they faked a kick. I lifted my leg to block the kick, and then all of my weight was on the opposing leg, and I got
Yeah.
kicked in the joint, in the knee joint. So it felt like my leg bent like this a bit. So it immediately swelled up, and I couldn't really do anything for about 2 weeks. And 2 weeks passed, and then I had another 2 weeks to prep for the fight. So I asked my
Oh,
trainer then, Henry Madini, is his name, and I asked him, I said, listen here, what's happening now, man? He said, well, you know, this is the great thing, you know, God gave you a spare one, so you've got another leg. I was like, what? He's like, look, man, you prep for a fight, you're going to go in there and you're going to do this thing, and we're going to get it done, you know?
yeah.
So yeah, I would say that would be my heaviest injury that I had with regards to training and stuff like that. But over years of wear and tear and use, I already have a surgically repaired left ankle. So you know that kind of like worsened. And yeah, when you have an ankle injury, just mechanically the ripple effects that it has throughout your body is an issue. So I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time after that. It's because of a lot of injuries and Muay Thai stuff and just the impact. I had to go into do heavy weight training and just address all of these things to get better bone
Yeah.
density and musculature and ligament and muscle strength. And then I ended up 3 years after that doing my first amateur bodybuilding show. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so what started as rehab developed as another passion, and I was just like, okay, well, let me just discover myself within this thing and see what it's like. And then I just went all the way, and that's kind of like also I would say, part of the theme of my life. If I fall in love with something, and I just go as far as I can, as deep as I can into that thing to just discover myself.
Yeah. It's amazing how you like found like an opportunity and growth in what most would see as a setback, like having the whole injury and having to do all of that stuff. And yeah, you found something, and now you could add that to your experience and something that you can even teach and coach if you had the time to do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's really cool. And like there was another question I wanted to ask you about the fighting. Or we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Let's get to the acting. Oh, yes, here's the question. Sorry. So I remembered. Would you then, like knowing with your skill and everything, do you think that you are physically capable to maybe play an action role where you do a lot of fighting and stunts like that? Or would you
Yeah,
play and like probably get like a stunt double?
no, I think knowing me, I'll just do everything myself. I would want to. I would want to have the experience and the authenticity of it when I'm on
Yes.
set. Those things.
Okay.
The problem is, it's not usually the actor that decides that. Sometimes the producer's just like, no, guy, I don't want to
Oh,
risk it. Yeah,
oh,
the producer would be like, no, we just don't want to risk it. We would rather go the safe route and make sure that you're taken care of and so on. But there are a
oh,
couple of people, and obviously you've seen the clips of Tom Cruise doing his own stunts and stuff like that. Jackie Chan did his own stunts. Tony Jaa, a lot of the guys from the martial arts movies that I also really love. They do their own stunts. They prep for months beforehand.
yeah,
They get themselves ready. So yeah, I'm a fan of stuff like that.
yeah. Have you done any stunt work? Maybe in your career, early in your career, or any time?
Yeah, I've done limited stunt work on Rockville. We had a shooting scene where I had squibs all over me, and then they had to like shoot me with a semi-automatic weapon. That's the one. I also in
Yeah.
Scandal, I had an opportunity one day to do like a car explosion where they attach you to a pulley and then they pull you and stuff like that.
Oh,
There was a show that I did called Rurio Footer that was on SABC3, and they didn't have a fight choreographer for the day, and I did a short scene for them. So yeah, I've had my fair share of a couple of things. Yeah.
yeah. That's pretty
Gun
cool, man.
orientation, firearm compliancy, how to breach a perimeter, those types of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I remember doing just training for that stuff, and I was so excited. I was like, wow, I would really like, I admire like action movies. I just want to be in one already, and have the guns, jump from the buildings, and do fighting and all of that. I really love all of that. But
Yeah,
let's get
it's a
to,
difficult genre actually. People think action is just like skop skiet en
yeah.
donders wat die mense mos altyd sê. But I mean, to pull off the genre, it's not as easy as what it seems. You really have to do the genre justice for people to buy into the genre of it and then go like, all right, I accept this guy and I accept what he's offering me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny also that you mentioned earlier that the producers actually get to decide if they want to use you for your own stunts or if they want to get in a stunt guy, because I thought that is entirely up to your preference. For example, like when they ask you, are you okay with playing a nude scene? Are you okay with doing this? Are you okay with doing your own stunts? I thought it's part of those questions.
Well, in SA, not so much. I don't think, with the broadcasters that we have, maybe if they do internationals and stuff like that, they will kind of like assess what your athletic ability is. But if you get hurt and, you falsified all of those things and you cost the production money, that's not a good look. And then they can't work with you. So the most producers and production companies would prefer to be safe and just have like a double and say like certain things, let the double do it.
Okay. So I get the difference is probably with those other questions that I brought up is probably your preference, and with this could be a risk of cost and everything, and also injury.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what comes in.
definitely like a risk of cost. They would want to ensure that there's no holdups when it comes to the shooting process and the filming process. Yeah, but
Yeah, nobody,
I think most actors they would love it.
yeah, nobody wants an injury to be a hold up in the middle of a project.
No, boss, it's money. It's lots of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like they can probably even like let you go, eh? Could they let you go if you're like the lead actor and you have like an injury or whatever? Or do they
Depending
just
on how
like,
much they've shot already, but that wouldn't necessarily happen. I haven't really heard it happen lots with either people getting injured and then them canning the film after or letting the lead go. It's just an unfortunate thing for the production to go through because leading up to that, obviously, there's the process of casting people and going to it was a tedious
yeah,
process to find someone, you know.
exactly.
Now, I don't know. I think things in the entertainment industry have definitely changed where, you know, people are considering like backups or, you know, their second option or stuff like that
Yeah,
because money's tight and COVID affected, you know, how we do things. So, yeah, everyone had to evolve.
true. I mean, I had to evolve to my hair in the show.
Good
uh,
evolution, bro.
yeah. Okay. My man Clint, let's take it all the way to the beginning, to the very,
Yeah.
very young Clint, the minute you tasted acting and when the passion hit you. What was it like? Who were you before it hit? And how did you have that moment? How did that magical moment happen for you?
So the weird thing for me is that I did this from the age of 4. You know, when I was 4 years old, I went and I did my first with like every other kid. You start with like school activities, so you would do monologues and prose and
Yes.
recitals and stuff like that. And then I did my first I Stedford. You know the I Stedford. I did my first I Stedford in first grade. I was 5, and
Yeah.
and that's all I remember. I don't remember doing anything else but applying myself to this craft from the age of 4 years old in various different situations, on various different stages, in various different capacities, on
Yeah.
various different levels, you know. So when did it bite? Man, I don't know. I think when I did my first recital and I did my first monologue, just the feeling of doing something that got me some form of a yes, you know,
Yeah.
was great for me to see. And even at that young age, I was like, okay, I had the experience of going through the difficulty of putting this thing, of getting this thing, the understanding of what I'm doing, and then having to present this in front of people. And after presenting it to people, I got a favorable reaction from it, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that was the beginning for me. And then I just started growing in it. I stayed fits every year from first grade all the way through to 12th grade. And I was fortunate that I think I only have like 1 year that I achieved below 80%, where I had like a silver. Everything else was like 80, 85 plus, 90, 90. 1 year I got 99 plus percent, and they said, you know, we're not allowed to give everyone 100%, but what you seem to be doing is, yeah, it's, I don't know, but fortunately, you know, I had was a colored mommy and daddy who don't play games, and no one's sy gaan nie 'n groot kop kry nie. Niemand gaan 'n groot kop in die huis kry nie. They kept my feet firmly on the ground, and also my environment where I came from. I went to Paulus Joubert Primary in Paul, and I didn't go to a school that had a lot. And I remember the our what is it the motto of the school
Yeah.
was aim high, you know,
Yeah.
aim high. And that thing was ingrained into me as a lighty that, you know, listen, shoot your shot, man. You know, when you get to that point where you want to go for it, you know, go at it with everything you have.
Yeah.
And that kind of like just stuck with me from a young age. So I 1 year, twice I participated and competed in the Dalro national competition. And the first year I was standard 7, grade 9 for, you know, the millennials, and I got into the top 10. I think within the top 10. And then the second year I did it, I supposedly came second, but then one of the adjudicators got up and said, listen, we all know that Clint guy should have won this thing, but because that guy's dad is paying for part of this process, we know why he won. And then they wanted to come and give me like a 3-year bursary afterwards to say, like, listen, you got a scholarship and stuff like that. And I was offended, man.
Oh,
I said, I'm no one's second choice. I'm not going to accept it. Sorry.
yeah, that should.
Because my principle was, I was competing against kids that went to an art school. They had
Mm,
that, they had a different set of favor on them, and
uh,
I just came from New Orleans senior secondary, boss, salute, you know, and I had to
uh,
fight. I literally had to fight my way through everything to get there and to be shortchanged, to be told like behind the curtain, no, we'll give you a consolation prize. I was like, no. If I say yes to this type of treatment now, I'm setting the
mm.
tone for what I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life. And I just decided to never take the easy route out. I just worked hard. Yeah.
Wow, man, that's really big of you. I mean, to like even exercise your power at such an early age stage, because I would say I'm probably that guy who would have been like, okay, they said this, but I'll still take second base until I like be like, you know what? If it's meant for me, it's meant for me, man. Don't come tell me that, you know what, it
Yeah.
should have been you, but this is that, but I can give you a chocolate cake. No.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like
So I
props
was
to
just like, no.
you, Give props to
Mm.
props.
Yeah, no,
And
thank you.
yeah, and
And then, after that, after high school, I went to Stellenbosch University for a year, studied drama. I really wanted to further myself. Usually, with what happens when you're a first year student at university, they say that, in these institutions, you are not, first year, you don't know anything about acting. You build sets for the fourth years, for the third years, and stuff like that. I was like, oh, hell no. I didn't come here to be a set builder. I came here to develop my, the craft of acting. And
yeah,
I had a couple of roles, stage productions and stuff like that. But then I got really bored with being curbed and not given an opportunity to develop my skill really. So I left
yeah,
City Varsity. I auditioned I left, sorry, Stellenbosch University, and I auditioned to get into City Varsity that year. And I got in. I started the next year. Within my first couple of weeks of first year, I got moved straight through to final year. And then, I basically just got my degree in like a year, and I moved on from there. And 2 months after university, I got an audition to be at Backstage, and that was almost 22 years ago.
yeah. Wow. Let's actually talk about backstage. That was gonna be my next question. Was backstage the first time you did something for TV, or did you maybe do commercials before all of that? Or and how was that experience?
No, that was 1999. They didn't want to have colored people for commercials. That's actually what I
Oh,
was told by a couple of agencies in Cape Town. People slammed the door in my face and said, look here, unfortunately, if you want to go into the ad agency in the ad world, we won't be able to help you out if you don't have blonde hair and blue eyes. And I took that as a challenge, man. I was just like, I don't care if that's what you want to do, then sure. But I'm different. I just felt it. I felt like I really wanted to pursue this thing. And
yeah.
there was an opportunity. I was sitting at home one day, and my dad was like, "Look here, it's been like close to 2 months since you finished and you now got your degree and whatever. So what are you gonna do now?" I said, "I don't know. They taught us how to act. They didn't say how I must get a job. I don't know how this thing works. Where do they make these things?" And he
Yeah.
said, "Well, listen, you got till next week to find out how this thing works. Otherwise, you're gonna sell insurance for me." I was like, "Hell no. I don't want to work for my dad. My dad's gonna be a ruthless guy, man." So I opened up
Yeah.
the newspaper and I saw there was an ad for a feature film that they had auditions for, an ad for audition for a feature film. The feature film was called Gangs and Dances. So I took the train from Paarl all the way to Cape Town, book up, did the audition there. I get to the audition room, get my paper to just register and all of these things. And while I'm busy checking out this form, the application form, the receptionist said, "Who here doesn't have an agent?" So as I'm about to stick up my hand, she's just like, she's like, everyone that has an agent or that doesn't have a representation, you can leave. We're not going to see you. I was like, I can't go back and take the train now and go all the way back to Paarl. So the guy that I was sitting next to was a model, and he was trying to chat up all of the other model girls in the audition room. And while he was doing that, I just copied the name of his agency and his number. I just put it down on my form.
Nice.
And just after I did that, they said, okay, number 98 over there. I said, yeah, that's me. They're like, okay, we'll see you now. Cool. So I went through and I did the audition. And it was like a group audition. So they just said some improv with everyone around you. Want to see, just intensity, scare me, all of these things. Show me you're a big bad gangster. Come on, man, And, after doing my thing, the director just stopped and he just said, it's like, I love you, man. I love your commitment. I love your passion. This is great. Who's your agent? And I just took the phone and just, Janet. He goes, Janet Duplessis, that's my friend. It's a really good friend of mine. He takes out his phone, he starts calling, and I'm panicking, bro. I'm like, call Janet. Janet, listen, I love this kid, man. I want him in my film. And then she's like, who's he? It's Clint. And I said, yeah, Clint. He says, Janet wants to speak to you. And she obviously had some choice words, bro. She was not really happy.
Yeah.
But that got me to see Janet the next day. Janet Duplessis, who was part of Penny Charters Association. I think they're called APM now in Cape Town, as the agency
Yes.
called it. And the next day I saw Janet. Janet was like, listen, who do you think you are using my name to get yourself? She goes, that was a very ballsy move. I'll give you that. But, let's see what you're capable of. There's an audition for a show tomorrow. They actually have closed auditions now for 2-3 weeks, but they haven't finished casting yet. I think that you can be right for one, for one of these characters. So I went through and I did the audition, and out of 700 people that auditioned for the same character I did, I got chosen to play Sean Jacobs in Backstage, and that's how I started in the entertainment industry at the age of 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing, honestly. I mean, first of all, let's take it back to where your dad only gave you 2 months. Really?
Yeah.
2
You
months
said till
and
next week, bruh.
2 months and a week. People are sitting like 3 years, 2 years, trying to figure it out, and you only got 2 months.
There was no money for waiting for 3 years to do something, boss.
and then there you get hit with a wall telling you, if you don't have an agent, please leave. And you're like, I can't go back to that, because it's waiting for you. And then you just took a chance. Even all the way through, I mean, you still kept your cool on the phone. You're like, yeah, whatever. And then you still went to it, and then you still auditioned on top of that. Wow, look how that actually that ball just kept on rolling, and that's how you got onto Backstage. Wow, interesting.
Yes, sir. That's how it happened.
Yeah, and then Backstage also moved to Josie, right?
Yeah, they did.
At the time, yeah.
2002. 2002, they moved to Joburg. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're one of my favorites. What was your girlfriend on Backstage? In case your current wife is watching now, what was your girl? Was it Pam?
Charmaine. No? The character was Charmaine.
Charmaine, yes, yeah. You guys were like this couple, and then everyone else there, and then Chipa and all the Duke. May his soul rest in peace. Duke and so what's the barman's name? Jason. What's his name? Jason.
Jason. Yeah. Antonio.
Yeah. Memories.
Yeah.
And always with your acting, did you find that you're like, where'd you come from growing up?
I'm from Paarl in the Western Cape. Paarl in Wellington. And I mean, Paarl in Wellington is like really small, now talent-wise, there's a lot of people coming out of the Paarl and Wellington community. In the entertainment industry, in sport, you see them all over. But yeah, then the exposure wasn't so big, man. You really didn't know. Besides stage and theater, I didn't know anyone that had anything to do with film and TV. So I literally had no leadership from that point. Mm-hmm. All I had was this passion and this knowing that you put me in the right space, I do my thing, I get ahead. I had that belief in myself. And fortunately, I come from a background where all of the teachers at Paulus Hubert Primary and New Orleans Senior Secondary and my family, even though I decided to do something that no one in the family knew about and was accredited to do, they were like, how are you going to live? The actors don't have houses, they don't have cars, they don't have insurance. How are you going to do this? You can't just do something for passion. And how are you going to have a family? How will you support kids? And I just paid no mind to that at all. I was just like, look, I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm gonna be mal at this thing because I
Yeah. And sorry, I can't hear you. Okay, you're back now.
yeah. Just hang on for a sec, Steph. Okay, sorry. I think my wife was. I heard something suspicious.
You better go check it out, buddy. That's so awesome, man. And like, when did your parents actually become your fans? From telling you like, hey, you need to shake up and be serious about your life. When did they actually become your fans as an actor and be like, okay, we respect what you're doing and keep doing it? Sorry, Clint. Sorry, can't hear you. Can't hear you for a second. I don't know. We can sign. Sign. I can't hear you at all. All right, let's just go with selector quick. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so Clint, let's try if you leave the conversation and then you come back with the same link again. Let's see if that works. Cool. Hey guys, how you doing? Tell me in the comments what could be the reason for the season. Yo, I'm gonna do something real for you guys. I'm still thinking about it. I don't think you're ready. Okay, so clearly we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So we're just gonna give Clinton some time to. It's not Clinton. We're gonna give Clint some time to reconnect with us and see if we can solve the problem. For those of you who are being patient, thank you so much. Let's say in the comments. What did they say? Jacob, how you doing? Hi there, Jacob. Yeah, Jacob. Hey, Mario. How you doing, Mario? Thank you for tuning in, Mario. Are you still there, Mario? Is that an old comment? Come see old comments. That comment came on before the show started. All righty then. See more comments in the comment section. Maybe we should play a game. Should play a game.
Yo,
Yes, you're back. We can hear you. Cool. All right. You were saying, I was asking you, when did your parents become your fans from telling you you need to get your life in order to becoming like, yo, you're actually good at this. We see you and we just fully want to support you.
um, I think my family kind of like knew my potential on from the I State Fits and seeing that I was doing well, and then I started like building up a name for myself and a reputation from a very
Yeah.
young age.
Yeah.
Some form, well, a level of probably like a level of commitment and quality or whatever it was that they saw that I brought, and I think my parents were like, and my family were like, all right, cool, we see this, but going from here into a professional space, like, because they don't know anyone like that, they haven't really spoken to anyone like that, they don't know that world, how would it be possible? So I think and the first time I actually aired on TV would be the 1st of May, which is a couple of days from now, which is on my mom's birthday. 21 years ago, I started my first episode of Backstage aired, and I think after they saw that, things changed because now it's
Yeah.
no longer just like a regional thing. Now it's like a national thing. Out of people
Mm,
that they look for who audition for this TV show, like I'm one of those people now. So all of the
yeah.
hard work for 12 years leading up to that came into fruition and now stands for something. So yeah, man, I think that's
Yeah.
kind like when the penny dropped, like, okay, this thing is really happening. It's really happening. And then from then on, after backstage, doing Generations, and then from Generations to Scandal, from Scandal to, no, before I did Scandal, I did the film Dollars and White Pipes. And then I went to Scandal for about 7.5 years. And after I did Scandal, I did Rockville season 2. And then I did 3 Afrikaans films. And I did an Afrikaans series as well. And then I went to Binnenlanders. And while I was at Binnenlanders, I did the Ellen Pakkies film. So in the 21 years of me doing this, I've had a couple of months only where I was freelancing. And then I, me being a musician, I had an opportunity to do a bunch of other things. So as a colored guy growing up, born in the 1980, and then growing up in the 90s and getting into the entertainment industry, to be fortunate to do this consistently for as long as I've done it, I just thank the Lord for it, bro, because not many other people can say that. I've never really had to go out and audition for things. My first show I auditioned for, Generations, I did an audition for. I was requested as a part of the crew to go and do Generations. Scandal, I did an audition for. They wrote Tino Martins for me to get into the show. Binnenlanders, they asked me to be part of. They just put me on camera because they had me in mind for something. In the first, I think 2013, I was still busy with Scandal, and I didn't really know what Binnenlanders was then, because obviously it being an Afrikaans show, and I was predominantly working in the English market, I didn't really get it. So yeah, they just did a camera test for me, and then I walked in there and I did my thing, and I've been really, 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 really fortunate.
Lovely stuff, man. That's really cool. And it's actually so cool to hear, because I was wondering, how did you get the next role? And that also comes to the next question that I wanted to ask. When did you actually realize that you are actually, okay, people are starting to recognize me now, I'm quite famous, in a sense of the people in your industry, they know who you are. Like you're saying, with other jobs, they already knew who you are. They knew your skill from previous work, so they just requested you. When did that actually hit for you, when be like, okay, whoa, this is different. I have to do things a bit differently now. I can't just walk into the mall because people are going to recognize me. I have to probably change a lot of things like that. So when do you think that kind of fame hit you in your career?
So I was never a fan of fame, man. I found it restrictive.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did appreciate about it was that, not just my work and my commitment to the craft and my love and passion for it, but the fact that my parents had to sacrifice for me to be where I am today. I am not just here because of my own works and my own hands. I'm a culmination, a combination of people's prayers, people's efforts, people's hopes, people's dreams, time and investment, belief in me, and saying those things that we see you going far, even if they didn't knew what that was. I've always had people say that about me, say like, listen, you're gonna be someone great one day, you're gonna do this one day. And when the first time that I actually experienced pandemonium, I think we were part of backstage, obviously, and my character and the Charmaine character obviously were very popular amongst colored people, because firstly, that was the first time that they heard people speak like this,
Yes.
and really giving a true, authentic representation of a people that hardly get to see themselves anywhere, still till today, And we're young, there's a vibe, there's energy, it's a new show,
Yeah.
So we went to Mitchell's Plain one year, and man, it was weird. After we came off stage, like, people were pushing the fences over already. There was like smashing other people up against the fence. And when we drove in the car and we left, people were jumping off the fence and off like walls and stuff like that onto the car, just to like keep us there. That was, for me, was like wild, bro.
Yeah. Sounds wild.
Yeah, I think that was that moving from backstage scandal, generation scandal days, those days were, uh, yeah, they got a lot of attention, those shows.
Yeah. It sounds like when you're describing the people, it sounds like World War Z zombies pushing the fences
Yo,
and jumping.
yeah, it was a bit hectic.
Shark, shark. Zombies going crazy, bro. Yeah, that's crazy. No, that's cool, man. And it sounds like you had some good luck, and I mean you okay, not just luck. You actually sound like a really hard worker, but it sounds like you had some good opportunities also that came your way, and you jumped for it. I mean, and you even like threw the stone blindly and you never knew where it landed and it landed you in good places. Was there any time in your career where you ever felt like you had like we went through like a dump, you know, where you just re-questioning yourself, am I still good at what I'm doing? Do people still do this? You know, do I still want to do this for the next couple of years? The kind of thing. Do you ever have that period in your life? And what brought you to that and what brought you out of it?
Um, to be honest with you, I never have that thought if I'm good or if I'm not good enough for something. It's not a
Yeah,
conversation that I have with myself. I believe in what I bring. I believe
yeah,
in what I do. I believe that I can only be authentically me. I can't be anyone. I can only be me. So whether that means I'm called for a certain role, or if I'm right for a certain role or not, that's also part of the bigger process. You know, that's not necessarily just because um, my skill set brings me to that stage. The thing that's really real about being an actor, it's also like aesthetically what you look like, and people want to find someone that represents whatever when they see you, and that, you know, that also plays a
yeah,
part. Sometimes you can be a great actor, but you're just not the look for what they're looking for, and then they might go for different options, and that's also part of the process. And
yeah,
but if I'm good or not, I don't have that conversation with myself. uh, I believe in myself. I also know that what I do is, and this is not without, this is without ego. This is not egotistical at all. I believe that many are called and few are chosen. You know, and this thing for me is not. This is not a talent. This is not a skill. This is not me going out there and simply just wanting to make a career for myself. This is my calling. I've been called to do something, and
yes,
through whatever it is that I do, bring about change and change the narrative where I can, you know, and contribute. I've always seen myself as that type of person. I've never
yeah,
gone onto a TV show needing for that TV show to define me. My thing was
yeah,
just like, I found a show like this. Here's this character, and this is what they're telling me. What can I contribute to this show and to this character that when I'm done and when I leave here, I leave it in a better condition than when I found it in? And that's
yes.
always my focus, is the quality of my work, and having good relationships with the people that I work with.
Yes, that's brilliant, man. That's awesome. And like listening to your story, actually, you know, I can actually tell with how you shared your experience that you were always headstrong. I mean, you stood up for yourself against your parents, you stood up with yourself against other challenges that you could not control, but you still, you know, you believed in yourself and you shot your arrow. And that's really cool. So it's really, really good to know that you've always been self-motivated and you've always been strong and in believing who you are. That is awesome. And I mean, you sound like a really great mentor, you know, and I'm sure you probably mentor some people, of people that have like maybe not used the term but mentor, but people asked you for advice growing up or whatever. Did you have any mentors at any stage that kind of like helped you with a lot of your acting?
No, no. I would say the people that helped shape me and helped shape my understanding of who I am were obviously, I mean, my teachers at primary school, and my mom was someone that invested a lot of time in me and what I did. Um, but then I would say within the acting industry, no. It's something that I really had to go out and discover for myself, and I think also that's why my journey was the way it was. I
Yeah,
take just hang on, sorry, bro, my
cool.
back. Um, I'm an observer, you know. I love it. I love being a student. I love checking people out. I listen before I speak. In fact, I listen more than anything else. And
Yeah,
I just had to get to the point where I listened to myself as well. I was like, look, You have to find a way to just trust what you do. You have to trust what's in you. If there's no one around you that has this, that you can resonate with, or that you can bounce ideas off, um, you just have to trust yourself all the way. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. And
True.
that was my mindset. And I would say maybe like my lecturer at City Varsity, his name is Gerard Rudolph, and he's a brilliant actor. And he was super hard on everyone. And if you just didn't have a thick skin, if you didn't have if you couldn't find a way to absorb that and then cultivate it and turn it into positivity and come back better, if you weren't able to do that, then you're not cut out to be in the entertainment industry. It's
Yeah.
brutal, it's harsh, it's oftentimes not fair. You won't understand it. But that's why my focus was always on the bigger purpose and the mission than the job. Because if you just focus on the job and the career, then you're not really focusing on the calling and what it is your message as a performer is supposed to be. What do you go to deliver with the types of choices that you make? And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I had to figure all of that stuff out for myself.
Mm. That's really awesome, man. And like really like you're saying, the key to all of it is like really just being yourself and doing the best that you can and adding to the program or whatever the role is. And it took me a while to actually figure that out, because I'm growing like also in the beginning, I have mentors now and I've had some mentors along the way who've given me, well, not mentors, but people who stepped in and helped me shape my perspective on what I was doing at the craft. But like before all of that came in, I used to look and I used to learn and think, okay, I probably should speak this way. I probably should do this. I probably should add a little bit of that because that is what I like, that's the standard. But it only took me a while to figure out that those people that are doing that and doing this, the things that I'm liking, they're actually being themselves. It's not they doing a thing that is this is the standard. They being themselves and they looking so amazing. And I was like, actually then just be myself if I actually want to be that amazing at these people. So that's
Yeah.
when you really find the strength. And I wish I actually could tell that to myself when I was starting out. But that brings me to my final question with you. If I put you in a time machine right now, and we're going all the way back to the Clint Brink that was just trying out acting, or like didn't even know what your journey lies ahead of you. So it's the Clint Brink of today, going back to the young Clint Brink, just before you got famous, or just before the bug bit you. What advice, knowing the journey that you've walked now, what advice would you leave him with for the
Believe in
future?
yourself. Believe in yourself more. Care less of what people think and believe in yourself more. That's it, man. That's
Awesome.
that's that's definitely it. Because so many people will try and discourage. People will say you're not made for this. You'll never be able to. And I heard that a lot. I heard people saying TV, it's not going to happen. Film, it's not going to happen. You want to do music, you want to release an album. How are you going to do that? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't work on a soapy and do Muay Thai and a combat sport. You're going to get hurt. You can't do this.
Mm,
You can't compete with bodybuilders on the stage and stuff like that. I just pay no attention to that. And I was just like, I find what really resonates with my truth on the inside. And I just believe in that all the way. But yeah, there were definitely times where it was difficult to do that when you don't have a good support system around you. I mean, I moved to Joburg. I had no family here, no people knowing me, and I really just had to rely on some form of supernatural strength for me to
yeah.
get through it. And fortunately, I'm still here today. I'm able-bodied. I'm of sound mind, and I can still contribute something to the entertainment industry and to life. So yeah, I
Yeah.
would just say believe, and just don't listen to the naysayers, man. Just go with what you believe in.
True, 100%. And the journey is still long for you. Clint, it's been an honor having you on the show tonight. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Price of Fame. And wow, and I'm sure a lot of viewers enjoyed your story as much as I did. I really particularly enjoyed how you became onto backstage because I would never ever picture how you got that. But everything else and just like the strength that you like, you're such a powerhouse, you're a very strong person, very powerful person. And I'm sure a lot of people look up to you. So thank you so much for being on the show, my man. Is there any last words that you want to say maybe for the viewers or the up and coming actors? Stay in
Uh,
school.
yeah, stay in school. don't do drugs, you know, drink, eat your
Yeah.
veggies. No, bro. I think I kind of like said it all, you know. I just
Oh,
wish everyone the best. I pray that where you are right now, all of everyone watching this, you know, whether you are going through hardship, whether you're facing difficulty, or whether you don't know what your tomorrow looks like, you know, just believe that tomorrow is a day that's destined for you to be better than today, you know. Believe that you have reason for being here, that you have a purpose for being on this earth. And it's important for you to unlock your gifts and reach your full potential, because there are other people dependent on you reaching your full potential. If you don't
yes.
overcome your demons, and if you don't slay your giants, boss, you know, the other people that needed to see that within you won't be able to unlock their own. So don't be scared. Take up your arms, work hard. And if other people just work harder, believe it, and get it done, man. Get it done. That's why we are here. Time is limited, time is short. Don't waste it. Don't waste it on frivolous and pointless, shallow relationships and shallow things that's not going to transcend you into the next level of yourself. You know, find out what the real stuff is, fail forward quickly, get up quickly, convert that thing into a positivity, and just be your best, man. Make the most, squeeze the juice out of every day that you can. That's
Yeah.
how I live.
Woo, hallelujah. But man, thank you so much. That was an amazing message, and it's so true. It's so true, and it's authentic. And I can hear it's coming from your heart, you know, and you're speaking also from experience. That's why you have a message like that. So thank you so much. You've been a blessing on the show tonight. Thank you for coming on.
Sure, my brother.
Guys,
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you've enjoyed Clint tonight. So please follow him on all of his socials. Like he said, he's got a very long journey. Got to do so much more. And we are looking forward to it. You've always been a star, and we've always loved your work, you know. I also I loved Dollars and White Pipe. I love that. I really enjoyed that movie about you. So
Thank
thank
you,
you
my
so
brother.
much for being on the show tonight. Guys, like I said, please follow him on all socials. Clint, may you have a wonderful evening further.
You as well, my brother. Peace out.
Cool. Thank you, brother. Good night. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for myself and Clint tonight. We do apologize for the technical difficulties, but you know, these things happen and then we try to move on. So please follow me on all of my social platforms. That is Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. That is Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. That is for Facebook. And for Instagram and Twitter, you can find me at Lunga Tshuka. That's at Lunga Tshuka. Please also go on to my YouTube page and like and subscribe because we need all of that stuff. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of tonight's show, The Price of Fame. Share this with those who haven't seen it. Share it with yourself, Soma, and watch it again. Thank you so much. My name is Lunga Tshuka. I've been your host. Good night.